Hey ladies, my name's Reenee. I'm a clinical herbalist, and today I'm going to talk about body positivity and why it needs to include loving your period. But if you want to learn more about how to stop painful periods and PMS forever, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell so you can be notified every time I post a video. Ladies, I truly believe that we cannot love ourselves completely until we love every single part of ourselves, until we embrace all of our shadows. And part of what lurks in the shadows for so many women is our period, is our moon cycle. It's something that we believe is a curse. It's something that for so many years we've all been trying to distance ourselves away from. We medicate it away. We take birth control pills and create synthetic periods. We're trying our best to distance ourselves as much from our womanhood as we possibly can, when this process of our period, our cyclical nature, is actually what's keeping humanity alive. Without it, we would go extinct. Our life was meant to be lived with flow and ease, and somewhere along the way, we lost sight of this. We started to think that life was meant to be mundane, and we started to live in this drudgery, and this is why we got into this place of being very linear, consistent creatures when we're actually not. We're actually cyclical. But to fit onto this line, we try and get rid of that cyclical nature. We try and disassociate ourselves from it. When we do this, we start to create distance between our creator and ourselves, and we create distance between ourselves and our own bodies. And this starts to chip away at our self-esteem, because here's our body that's operating in this circle, and here we are trying to operate on this line. And if you think about this circle, the top of the circle is when you're ovulating, okay? And down here at the bottom is when you're on your period. So when you're on your period, and this is our linear line, you're as far away from where you want to be as possible, okay? Why you want to be on this line, we're going to get to in a second. So you're going on this circle, you get to ovulation, you're on this line, and you create this standard for yourself. And you want to be up at this standard all the time, but you can't, because you're cyclical and you're going to come down here at a certain point in time. But society has created this idea in our heads that we should be giving and nurturing all the time. And when we can't do that, we start to criticize ourselves. We start to beat up on ourselves. And this chips away at our self-esteem. It chips away at how we feel about our bodies. So in order to love our body, in order to really be positive about our body, we have to love our cyclical nature, which means loving our period. What do you think, ladies? Do you agree with me? Leave a comment below if you agree, or even if you disagree. When we don't think about our period, when we think about body positivity, we're missing a huge part of what is creating our lack of self-esteem. I know personally, I struggled with so much bloating. At points, I even got asked after I had my second child, my bloating after that C-section was so bad, I'd even gotten asked if I was pregnant. Now, what that does to my self-esteem and my image and my relationship with my body is huge. And it had such a big impact on how I felt about myself and how I felt in my body. But once I started to understand my cyclical nature, once I embraced it and I started nourishing myself according to my cycle, I started creating boundaries for myself according to my cycle, I started doing things, I fell in love with my cycle. I mean it, ladies. I love my period. I love the fact that I'm cyclical. I know how to harness these energies to my advantage. And yeah, I mean it, like to our advantage. Your period actually is your superpower, ladies. I know that from where you're sitting, if you're not familiar with this information, and I do suggest you check out my videos on moon cycle alignment if you're not familiar with it. So it sounds a little bit far-fetched, like how can you actually love your period? But I promise you, you can get to that place once you start learning this ancient wisdom of moon cycle alignment and of Ayurveda, and start nourishing yourself, setting your boundaries. You'll start to have healthier relationships. You won't have that desire anymore to isolate, and you'll feel great about your body. I offer courses on this because I believe every woman has a right to have this wisdom. Every woman needs to know about this. She needs to get comfortable in her body. We should all own our bodies with the confidence that can move mountains, because, you know, that's what we're here to do. We're here to live in our purpose and be in alignment and be in flow and ease. So this is kind of how I feel about periods. I would love to hear from all of you. How do you feel about your period? Do you think you can ever get to a place where you love your period and you love your cycle? Do you think it's a part of body positivity? Leave a comment below. Let's start talking about this. So ladies, if you want to learn 5 natural ways to stop PMS mood swings, go to www.loveyourmooncycle and download my free guide. You can also find that link in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me. Sending all of you love and light.